Hello and welcome back to Art Club. We've got more art adventures ready to go for you. So let's make sure we've got all of our supplies ready to go so we can have some art fun. The first thing that we're going to need to make sure of today is that we are set up to do some painting. So you can see I've got my paper bag and parchment paper ready to go. Maybe you use a paper plate to put your paint on. Whatever works best in your home, go for that. But we want to get it set up because we're painting. It's a little bit messy. All right, we're also going to want to have our black sheet of paper, our white paint, one of the cotton balls. We're going to want to have a tiny piece of cardboard. Mine's about 1 inch by 2 inches, somewhere in that range. And we're looking for that thicker cardboard too, where you can see that on the edges. What else do we need? Oh, and we're also going to need our permanent marker as well for the finishing touches. So here we go. We are going to be creating these adorable polar bears. Oops, too far. There we go. There we go. So these adorable polar bears, that's going to be our creation for today's art club. We're going to be using some printing, stamping techniques in order to make it all happen. So let's have some fun. Step number 1, we need to get out that cotton ball and have some paint down on our plate or parchment paper, whatever you're using. And we're going to dab our cotton ball down into it. Okay? We want to make sure, although we want paint on our cotton ball, we also want to make sure it's not too much. So I often will kind of dab it off to the side a little bit, just to make sure it's not too thick on there. Then starting from this lower corner and then coming back around to this other corner, we're going to make a large U shape. Going up, 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 up. And if we run out of paint, feel free to dab a little bit more on there as needed. And bringing it back on down like so. And then go ahead and fill it all in. Once again, as you find that your cotton ball is running out of paint a little bit, go ahead and add some more to it. When I freshly load my cotton ball with paint, I always make sure to dab a little bit lighter onto the paper, just so it doesn't release too much paint in one spot. You don't want it to look like it has big globs in it in one area. And of course making sure to kind of tap it around over there as well, just to release some of that paint that might get in the way. And we're just going to fill that all on in, just like so. And you can fill yours in a little bit more than this, but for the sake of the video, we're going to call that good. Next, I'm going to do the ears. So I'm going to load my cotton ball up again. And with the ears, we can kind of go around on either side. So there can be one ear like that. They're kind of rounded ears, right? And then we can go, oops, around over on the other side here too. So you can choose to either leave your ears with the inside having some dark of the paper showing through, or if you want, you could also fill in your ears like that and keeping them all white. So that's going to be up to you. Alright, I'm going to set my cotton ball off to the side, and now I'm going to pick up that piece of cardboard. We're going to use this for our printing and stamping next. So I want to use the side that has that corrugated middle, okay? And I'm going to dip that into my paint next. Once again, kind of making sure there's enough on there, but not too much that's going to get globbery onto my paper. So I'm going to use this to create these large snowflakes wherever I've got enough space for them in my background. And I'm going to do that by going 1, print, and then I'm going to rotate a slight bit to make an X. There's 2, and then one more going down the center for 3, and you see that that gives us those 6 points around the edges like a snowflake would have. I'm going to do that wherever I find enough room, and even if you need to go off the paper, like watch this, that's going off my paper, but I've got my paper bag in the background, so it's okay. But so some of them can kind of be going off the edge too, and that looks kind of nice when you do that. Kind of fills all the visual space quite nicely when we go off the edge a little bit for some of them. So I'm going to just keep on 1, 2, 3 with my stamps. Maybe I can fit another little guy kind of right in there. A little half snowflake on that side. And we'll flip it over so I've got the ability to go on this side as well. So a little guy right there. Another one here. And if you need to, of course, always feel free to pause or rewind if you need to go a little bit slower. I totally understand that. And there we go. Now we've got a whole bunch of large snowflakes, but if you've ever noticed in a snowstorm where there's lots of big snowflakes, often there's also a lot of little snowflakes. So that's going to be our next challenge, is to create some small snowflakes, kind of fill in around those big ones. So you can choose either to use your pinky finger to do the stamping, or I like to use the back of my paintbrush. So here's my paintbrush, but I'm just going to use that side, or the back of maybe a pen, or a pencil eraser actually works well for this as well, to kind of fill in with little tiny snowflakes all the way around my polar bear, and just really fill in that blizzard scene here, making it look real